Judge AP High Court, and Shri Vipin Nair Garu, President Supreme Court Advocates on Records Association. I request all the dignitaries to take a seat at the table here. I request our Vice Chancellor, Sir, Dr. D.V.S. Sir, to present the welcome address.
So, very good morning. Respected Justice Somayajulu, former Judge High Court of Andhra Pradesh, and member of General Council and Executive Council of our National University, who is always supporting the cause of promotion of legal education in general and legal education in National University in particular. So I welcome Justice Somayajulu Garu for this. I welcome Advocate Shri Vipin Nair Garu, who is President Supreme Court Advocates on Record Association, SCORA. As you know, getting the recognition as Advocate on Record is the first important stage for any advocate in the Supreme Court. So I welcome Vipin Nair Garu, who has readily accepted our invitation to speak on the topic Advocates on Record as Papers of Justice and Career Options for Law Students. So, actually, this is the brainchild of our Justice Somayajulu Garu. He is always, our Lordship always insisting the Vice Chancellor and other faculty that we have to conduct more and more interactive sessions to the students, particularly the fourth year and fifth year students who are becoming employers in the future. So I express my deep sense of gratitude to our Justice Somayajulu Garu for having his interest in showing the promotion of legal education. As we all know, he is our emeritus professor. So without expecting anything from the university. Moreover, our Justice Somayajulu Garu sponsored various scholarships to various programs for our students. Thank you very much, sir. And I request Vipin Nair Garu also. I express my thanks to him for coming all the way from Delhi to address us. Thank you.
I now request our Vice Chancellor, Sir, to felicitate our esteemed guest to LB College, Visakhapatnam, and obtained his Bachelor's of Law at Andhra University. Enrolled as an advocate at the Bar Council of Andhra Pradesh, he began his practice in Visakhapatnam, extensively handling matters before various courts, with specializations in civil, commercial, and arbitration cases. He also acted as counsel for several public sector undertakings, banks, and private companies, and appeared in arbitrations across India and abroad. Beyond his legal practice, Sir contributed to several organizations. He served as member of the Legal Committee of BCCI, President of the Bar Association Visakhapatnam, and also held trustee positions in a number of cultural and educational institutions in Visakhapatnam. He was appointed as Judge of High Court of Judicature at Hyderabad for the combined state of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh on 21st September 2017 and served with distinction until his superannuation at 25th September 2023. Recently, in October, he was designated as Senior Advocate by the Supreme Court of India and is also serving as the Professor Emeritus of DSNLU. We are honored to have you here with us today. I now welcome Somayajulu Sir to address the gathering.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, this room today. I was always telling the Vice Chancellor that we should have a small room where we'll have interactive sessions where the students get to participate and talk. I think you must be bored with lectures, particularly the 4th and 5th year. So therefore, I'm glad we are here. Today you have a situation where the Chief Justice of this state is eagerly interested in the development of this university. You have a number of judges who are keen on developing the university. You have a Vice Chancellor who is proactive. He is also being forced to be proactive by all of us behind him. As a result of which, things are looking up for this university. Your senior, who is here with us, Saket Vaidila, who is now active and upcoming lawyer in the Amaravati High Court, tells there are at least 95 students from DSNLU in the AP High Court itself. It is time, this is the time which is right for us to take the university forward. We want you to improve in every aspect. My phone numbers are with a few faculty members. In case you have any need or necessity, you can always get in touch, particularly career-related issues. It's an open invitation that I am extending personally. And at the end of the day, I was also interacting with 2 young lawyers yesterday, one from Amarchan Mangaldas, one from Nalsar. Their numbers are also given, particularly after today's session. Anybody has any career-related options, I'll tell you whom to contact, either Nandini ma'am or somebody else. Through her, you can send your queries. But don't keep sending, how do I get selected? Come up with some genuine, career-oriented issues, and we'll do our level best. You also have somebody who's in a seat of power, Mr. Vipin Nair, as the president of the AOR's association. I don't want to take much further. I will briefly introduce the topic that we plan to today and the issues that we plan to talk about, and then hand it over to Mr. How many of you have seen the movie Rocky? Rocky in English, not Sanjay Dutt. Rocky in English, who is the star?
Sylvester
Good.
Stallone.
What do you know about the movie?
It's not about how many times you get hit, but it's about how many times you can rise after it.
Perfect. You are at that stage of your life. You are punching way above your limit. What is unique about that movie is about a man who is given a shot at being the world heavyweight champion. He is not anywhere in that league, but he is given a chance to compete with the best, and he proves himself. What is the movie? The song in the movie that was very popular. Does anybody remember that?
Eye of the Tiger.
Eye of the Tiger. What does it say? The man and his will to
fight.
Will to survive.
Will to survive.
There is a lesson in that for all of us. And what is even more important is the way Sylvester Stallone acted in the movie. Do you know for a fact that he wrote the script?
Yes.
He wanted to star in the movie. No big Hollywood studio wanted to accept the script because he was an Italian with a funny accent. They said you won't fit into Hollywood. But the man believed in himself. The man worked for it. And the man achieved the success. As a result of which it became a hit series, not just a movie. Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4. Then you have Apollo Creed and the Creed series. All because of a man and his will to survive and his desire to excel despite the odds. A classic example of a man who was punching far above his weight. How many of you heard of MC Chagla? Good. What was he famous for?
Roses in December, and he was the
Roses in December. I'm very happy that you brought it. That book was published in 1973. So MC Chagla was educated in Oxford. He came back to Bombay, set up his practice, rose to become the Chief Justice of the state, was offered judgeship of the Supreme Court, he refused. Then he became a minister and ambassador, etc., etc. What he does, what he writes is, on day 1 in his court, day 1, the great Chagla entering the court talks about his palpitating heart, his nerves on an edge. Then he says, I had terrible financial difficulties. Starvation in my early years at the bar did me a lot of good. There is no better spur to hard work and ultimate success. Then he also says, I had Very little work at the bar for the first 7 to 8 years. Financial difficulties, starvation, very little work at the bar, 7 to 8 years. And where did he end up? Chief Justice. In 1973, this was published. In 2023, another great lawyer wrote another book that says, Before Memory Fades. Who was that? Pali S. Chapter 2 of the book, the heading is More Watching Than Reading. More watching than reading. He was spending his time watching his seniors because he did not have independent work on his own. Chapter 5 is Hard Knocks on the Head. Those who know Telugu will understand. Hard knocks on the head. That is Pali Nariman. And that chapter starts with a very, very interesting quote where he says, I am frequently asked by young law students around the country as to how a lawyer must prepare for and argue important cases. This is exactly the doubt most of you have in your mind. How to prepare and argue a case. The only appropriate answer I can give is as best as you can. Okay? And then he quotes, this is Robert Jackson of the US Supreme Court.
Prepare by thoroughly analyzing the case, gathering evidence,
and Mr. Robert Jackson had 3 arguments for every case. He had 3 arguments for every case. The one that he planned, which was methodical, it was logical, which would make perfect sense to the judge. The one that he planned. And the one he actually presented in court, which was incoherent, disjointed, and disappointing. And finally, he has a 3rd argument. One he realizes when he goes to bed and he is about to sleep, which is perfect in every aspect. So, 3 arguments. One which he planned, one which he actually presented and failed, and the one which he thought over and slept over in the night, and one which came to his mind, Ayyo, I should have done this. Therefore, and Nariman concludes by saying, I often have the same feeling. I often have the same feeling. 2 of the greatest legal stalwarts that you know, a book published in 73 and in 2023, have so much in common. So you are not alone. All of us have gone through the same sequence. Your good framing of Justice Vipin's retirement speech. Here he was telling me one of the issues we all face is life-work balance. And Justice Vipin concludes by saying, there is no life, there is only work. This is what he brought to my attention. The fact that this young man is here, he is not a first-generation lawyer. The fact that he is here shows that he is still concerned about how his career is going to go. We look at both of us here. Mr. Vipin is the president of SCORA. His partner Suresh, erstwhile partner Suresh, is the designated senior counsel. Both of them go to court in a nice big Mercedes. They have a big plush office in Delhi. They have a large number of juniors, a lot of work every day. They were telling me of an early day when their first case came to hand. A man from Kerala, one of the church-related matters, they had to file an application for a stay on a weekend before Justice Ramurthy. He came at 9:30-10. They ran to the nearest available local stenotypist, got a writ petition typed, got permission for a pause motion. 2 young men, first brief, first time, go to Justice Ramurthy's house, present the brief. Judge asks him, what is the issue? Sir, there is going to be a demolition, sir, of this building, we want to stay. On a weekend you want to stay? Yes, my lord, because of the importance. Then he says, where is the stay application? In their hurry to do that, they forgot the stay application. The judge looked at them and said, you're. So he said, okay, I'll give it on an oral application, file a proper affidavit by next Monday. I was doing a case, it was 117 of 85, it's still stuck in my memory. I had to prove a bill. How is a bill proved? How is the attestation of a bill? Can anybody help me with that? You must have heard it in your evidence class. Who signs first, the testator or the witnesses? The testator signs first, the witnesses should watch the testator sign, and the witnesses should say, I watched them sign. So I was slowly cross-examining this witness, and the witness said, I signed the paper, and said he didn't sign. That answer was enough for my entire case. It would have buried that case. The judge said, no, Babu, Mandi. Just ask again. I knew he deliberately interfered, but I was too young to protest. I wanted to protest, words did not come. The witness gathered what was happening, turned around and said, I saw the lady sign, then I signed the words. This is what happened. All of us have gone through the issues that are in your mind today. Where are we at the crossroads of our life? Where are we going? What which all of us are facing. You are not alone. Please keep it in mind. Okay? I leave it now at this stage to Mr. Vipin Nair, since that's the main topic. And I got about 8 or 7 questions from the students on which I will speak later. But we would both like you to be more interactive. I request you to ask more questions later. Thank you.
Our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Vipin Nair sir, a distinguished advocate and a respected leader of the bar, currently serving as the president of the Supreme Court Advocate on Record Association. Sir has been at the forefront of the legal profession for over 3 decades. Admitted to the bar in 1993, he pursued his law degree from the Campus Law Center, Delhi University, following his graduation in economics from the prestigious Shri College of Commerce, Delhi University. Sir is a member of the Supreme Court Bar Association, the Delhi High Court Bar Association, and the Indian Law Institute. Over the years, he also held important responsibilities, having served as the Secretary of the Supreme Court Advocate on Record Association and as the Assistant Treasurer of the Supreme Court Bar Association. His core areas of practice span arbitration, civil and criminal litigation, and economic offences, where his expertise and sharp advocacy have earned him wide recognition. We are indeed honored to have you here with us today, sir. I now welcome you to address the hearing.
Morning with him. So he continues to inspire people of all ages, and I learn from him on a daily basis. He also is an example of how sheer hard work, integrity, and dedication can take you right to the pinnacle of success in our legal field. From the district official courts of Vizag, he has travelled to the high and mighty lofty palaces of the High Court, and he has lived under the shadow of a legal giant. His father, D.V.S. was an arbitration expert of eminence, chairman of the Bar Council of India. For a son to step out of the shadows of such a big father is no ordinary task. Not only has he managed, we will never say that you have surpassed the great man, but he would be very happy wherever he is for what you've done.
Thank you.
And his son also continues the proud lineage of 6th generation lawyers. Ketan, who was planning to be here, he could not be. So welcome the Dronacharya of this university, Professor Prakash. And over 40 years, 37 years of dedicated teaching is no ordinary means. I was seeing the kind of papers you presented. Amazing body of work, and you all should be very, very proud of him. He is here to guide you. And as we were just talking to Dr. Ranveer Singh in the other room, these are all visionaries, And you are in the critical year batch, 4th and the 5th year?
Yes, sir.
So rather than my topic of keepers of justice, actually I'm more interested in career options for law students. That would be straight away to the point. But I also welcome former president of the Vizag Bar, Ravi Prasad Garu. He's been an old pal, and I've been coming to Vizag for about 20 odd years. This is the first time I've come here. And it's a beautiful campus, let me tell you. In Campus Law Center, Delhi, it's like one room, small, small building. Here you are blessed by nature. You live in a city which is a city of destiny. So everything is pointing to very good things here. And as we speak, I can see my former intern Ravi Sukeshan at the back. And there is from your college, and one intern right there in Delhi Supreme Court, our Kriti. Kriti is a former student. Kriti Sahatyada, the daughter of Justice Kupasa. So she is manning the stations in Delhi. So I have very deep connections with your college. I keep getting interns every year. I'm very happy the way they shape up to this. And speaking of Ravi Garu, Saket is here. He is a former proud alumni of your college, and we are we are looking for his career graph. He's a man who is trying to make his mark in a different city, and we are here for all of you. So I'll be more interested in the interactive session, but before that I'll just kind of give you the playbook regarding AORs. So advocate on record, you'll be surprised to know that only about 3,000 advocates in this country can file cases in Supreme. Many of you would have been active on the live law and the bar and bench circuits. We'll keep getting this concept of advocate on record. What is an advocate on record? What is this record business that advocates are talking about? So primarily this is an offshoot of the Supreme Court rules of 1963. These are lawyers meant to file cases or institute pleadings in the Supreme Court. Why should you create such a category is what one should ask. Why not everybody walks in? Maybe the underlying thought was that they need a degree of competence in the pleadings before the Supreme Court, newly instituted. So there is a great level of power, but which is coupled with responsibility. So you would have seen those news reports and all when very unfortunate cases of some error here and there, and we get picked up by the court. But then that is a kind of a learning curve. So even after I'm completing 25 years as a AOR, but every now when we sign finally, we have to be very careful on the pleadings. We don't know the matter is going to which judge. What is that temperament of the judge? For example, if you suppose use a word that the High Court order is untenable in law, a particular judge may take it otherwise and say, how can you use the word untenable here? You can say it is unenforceable, any other word. So it's a little casino there as far as pleadings are concerned. So the game plan is you stick to the basic foundation pleadings. Do not be very polite in your pleadings. And the concept of AORs actually is very interesting because the former President of India, Ramnath Kovind, was an AOR. Former Chief Justice Uday Lalit was an AOR. At one point of time, we had 4 advocate records on the Supreme Court bench. Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul, Justice Ravindra Bhatt, 2 more other people. And closer to home, you have an advocate record on the Amravati bench, that is Ramakrishna Prasad Garu, who is a very, very busy lawyer and a dear friend of ours. We really look up to the kind of work he is doing. So broadly, when I say why the word keepers of justice is something which Justice Suryakant, our second senior most judge, has said. That he said that AORs are the lifelines of the justice delivery system and therefore keepers of justice. So what happens is if your pleading quality is of some caliber, then the judgment quality accordingly follows. So you pitch a bad argument, you get a bad judgment. So it's the quality of the pleadings which comes in. So there are 2 aspects of AOR concept, broadly speaking. One is the pleading, that is till the filing of the case, and thereafter what happens till the hearing of the case. So advocate records, as well as normal advocates, can argue a matter. There is no restriction on arguments. Post-file, anybody can argue. Even a first year, fresh from college, you can argue in the Supreme Court. But there is a degree of responsibility which comes with that. So we make sure that the person who is arguing at least has some standing and gives a correct picture, because ultimately it's that client back home, or back in the jail who's been, the buck stops there. So just 2 data I'll give you. In 2005, 238 candidates gave the AOR exam. Only 12 passed. That's a brutal 7% success. But this has, I'm just telling you the extreme. Things have much improved now. So the last year, 2024, 1,200 candidates gave the exam. 920 actually appeared, 357 passed, so it's a roughly 40% ratio. So it's not an easy exam at all. So, but why has this increase happened in their success ratio? Is the better quality of education, legal education, because we find a lot of national law graduates taking this exam, which otherwise they were not. So we find all over, you see the breakup, and good colleges also, not just that. So, DC Garu, this is what I was reading in the papers today, that there are about 2,000 law colleges in India. The Bar Council yesterday has said that they are not going to open any more law colleges. Already a writ petition is ready in the Supreme Court against this. 26 national law colleges in India, out of which is one of the best ones. So what we find now is a trajectory towards legal education. How this has come about, nobody knows actually. Maybe it's the media. The enamor of legal education has just erupted in the last 5 years. See the take of law colleges. So there is something definitely that students are looking forward in this legal profession. No doubt. Now there are a lot of technical parameters that you have to. There are logistics. For example, advocate record means that you should be in Supreme Court, right? It's a Supreme Court centric practice. Therefore, you move your roots from wherever you are and go to Supreme Court. It has its own challenges. Put the mic is on. So that's why this college can speak. So what I was saying was, so there are some technical aspects there, right? So you have to move. So these are the two separate aspects. Once you decide that you're going to come to Supreme Court and practice for you, then the various other set of planning comes. So as far as this exam is concerned, there are basically 4 papers actually: drafting, professional ethics, leading cases, practice and procedure. 4 separate cases. Typically the exam is taken in the month of June. You need 4 years of practice and 1 year of last year of training, which is under an AOR who has completed 10 years of practice as an AOR. That's the broad guideline. So the exam is conducted by a board which is headed presently by Justice Suryakant and Justice Vishwanath. Exams papers are set by very senior lawyers. Therefore, the degree of difficulty comes in. They will look at it from a Supreme Court perspective. Therefore, a little bit of exposure to Supreme Court is necessary. That is why that 1 year of mentorship comes in. You can spend 4 years in Vizag, 1 year in Delhi and take the exam and people are cleared also. But it becomes slightly difficult because it's not really a theoretical exam. You will know, suppose the questions itself will be problem oriented. So unless you have a little bit of feel of that Supreme Court practice, it's slightly difficult. So that is one career option which you can always take. And what we find today is, for say the introduction of AI, or you look at say a topic like cryptocurrency, which is figured in one of the papers. So unless you are absolutely adept at the moving trends of law, they will be difficult. So I say that it is a examination which requires respect. It requires respect. Like CLAT, it requires respect. You can't just, there's no walking here. So you have to plan 1 or 2 years before that, yes, this is going to be my target. Then you're looking at a Supreme Court practice. Right, that's the bottom line. Because there's no, though VC allows, and you can be an AOR and practice from Vizag. A lot of friends are doing. They're coaching different, because VC you can appear, you can file online. But I believe this may be slowly curtailed, because the judges are taking a different view on it. They say you have to be here. Because the Supreme Court rules prescribes that the AOR's office should be 15 kilometers of the Supreme Court. So there is a territorial prescription, which is not really followed at the moment. But it's a contradiction in terms. When you have e-filing, the sheer understanding is that you will not be physically present. But there will be a fine line which they are going to sort out. And at the moment it's allowed. So what this also does is, it also brings about a concept called solicitors. Now, solicitor exams are conducted by the Incorporated Society of Bombay. it is also a very difficult exam, very low pass percentage. And all solicitors are automatically applicant records. They need not clear this exam. So there's a kind of a reciprocal arrangement. But AWARs can't file in Bombay unless you are a member of the Maharashtra Bar Council. That also is a very difficult exam. Same papers, almost same papers. So for clearing the paper, this 4-paper examination scheme, you need a overall 60% and an individual 50%. That's the basic lay. So, and it also gives you another option of taking a paper again. If suppose it's about 60, you're just on the borderline, and in one paper you got 45. So next time you can give, there's a repeat exam where you can improve that, and if you're above 60, then the whole score, aggregate is taken. So the system gives you that extra chance. Not taking the whole paper again, set, just that individual paper. So that does require some kind of a planning and preparation. But what it also does is it gives you a lot of respect, which I have felt, because when you go to a high court, the first question, if you say that you're in Supreme Court, they'll ask you, are you an advocate in that court? For the simple reason that they know that only they can file. Therefore, if they go to a non-AOR, then that non-AOR has to necessarily engage another AOR. So that client or the lawyer himself is looking at a two-lawyer strategy, which he may discount. Straight away go to a AOR. So it makes a difference for Supreme Court practice that you become an AOR. It's a small lack of credibility. If you go to other states, they kind of look at you seriously if you are an AOR. So that's one added advantage. And what it also does is the AORs are basically primarily responsible for instructing the senior lawyers in court. If the senior lawyer is not in court, the court expects you to argue the matter. That is the mandate of AOR. So you can, of course you can take some adjournment and all that, but primarily the court expects that you have drafted the petition, you should be able to argue the petition. Right? So this is, so it's a step, just a step below a senior lawyer, but a step above a normal lawyer. You know, there's that category. So everybody takes their role very seriously as an AOR. They have, because the court will straight away catch that AOR concern if there is any problem with the petition, not that AOR word instructed you. So your signature, there is no name lending here. Your signature is very sacrosanct. You have to be sure of what you've drafted. Of course, you can have it drafted by your juniors, but you have a final careful look. Positive time is not possible for practically drafting. And that is the way that a junior will learn also. Right? So, now what I say is, one is this concept itself. What the AOR, we also have a body, SCORA is, Supreme Court AOR, formed about 40 years ago. And we have been at the forefront of the fight for independence of judiciary. It would be already in your curriculum, if not by now. With the SCORA one, it established the collegium system, excluded and isolated the executive interference, and the 2015 SCORA 2 consolidated the whole. Interestingly, I was a secretary when the SCORA judgment came against the NJC Act. So we had gone to brief, as he said, Vipin Nair, and he led us in that group. And the man was an institution. Like I had that first-hand experience. Of course, he was a typical Parsi, so he brought about his own quirky and strange views. That, for example, this is something which has happened to one of our friends. Given a brief to Fali. Now he was very unorganized sector. So when you go to his house in Housecar, this is a big table, this is a big table. And there were heaps of files on that, case file. No arrangement. He never had a junior. He just had somebody to get him the legal. So this AOR friend said, yes, where's the file? Now how will he know where his file has been kept by Nariman? On his table. So he is looking at this mountain of files. What kind of a lawyer are you? You don't know where your file is. But there was some fire brigade action, and that somebody came running with the file. But after he gets it, then he was in a different zone. We could feel it. Unfortunately, this VC this is one small, it came pretty late because we had missed all those performances of Nariman, Palkiwala. If only technology was there at that time. So because it's an anecdotal session also. So my father was, there's a story which I love to tell. My father was also a AOR, he was an AOR for state of Kerala. So the locus classification and Bharti came, he was for Kerala. And they decided to breed H.M. Servai, another Parsi, and genius actually. So the terms of engagement once dad showed me, they are very clear, methodical. One Supreme Court report set, complete, SCR set. That time SCC was not, 1973. So one Supreme Court report, full set. One suite in Ashoka Hotel. One return ticket to Bombay. His wife always used to be there, but he paid for his spouse. Friday night he'll go, he'll come back on Sunday night. Monday it went for 63 days, 58 or so. But there was a caveat. He told my dad, Nair, I should never be presented the bill of the hotel at any point of time. This you have to organize. I don't know. You have to organize. So I said, that was also that time, yeah. So we had an arrangement with the manager, immediately the bill used to come and that is through the state. One time that manager changed midway and the bill came with the morning tea to Servai in the morning, along with the newspaper. That time mobiles were not there. Dad was summoned, he was summoned. Now the contract is repudiated. We are in the middle of a matter before 13 judges. He was shocked. We went, at that time Justice Andhyarjuna was his main junior. So we went to, and this is what has happened. There is pure chaos. See, there's only one solution. You go and meet Mrs. Servai and tell her what is happening. He went and said, after 2 days, normal, my father was walking in the corridors and Servai Sahib was coming. So he was so upset, my father, he took a left hand before chief court. Servai also came running. What, where are you going? Why are you avoiding me? What avoiding? You repudiated, cancelled and all that. He told, I have no face before my chief minister. Repudiated? What repudiation? So, no. You come evening, we have to prepare such an important matter. Then he asked, what happened? No, forget this, everything. We are back on track. We have to do this. This is important, fundamental right. 13 judges. But one thing, last minute. What did you tell my wife? So it seems that she gave a peace of mind to me, saying that what is the fault of this lawyer? It's a misunderstanding. Why do you take it to sin? So it seems he used to always ask his, this is something which all of, he used to always before the hearing ask his wife as a Firoza, as a lay person, what is your take on this matter, any matter? He will ask, these are the facts. This is what I am proposing to argue. What is your take as a lay person? And she used to give her brutal, frank opinion. Boss, this is right according to you. He may agree, may not, but he had that pitch of that common man. That is why he reached such a level. And all the books that is written on constitution, even now it's a treatise. So, these are all very interesting and practices which has come. This experience as my father as an AOR. But this is something that an AOR faces in Supreme. That is the different shades and shapes of seniors. And now we have a brand new senior in Supreme Court, Somayajulu. He has not changed at all. He's still the same. And one thing, again, amazing about him is, he's been a judge. He's seen everybody saying, Your Honor, all the time. And now he has to say the same thing there. It's quite a learning curve for him also. So, So I just wanted to give you a little flavor of this. I'll leave my emails here, and I'm open to take exam. I'll just in brief tell you everything about these things. Leading cases consists about 60 constitution bench judgments, 65, and all these are available on the document set. It's an open book exam. Therefore, the degree of difficulty increases according to everybody's got the same exam papers, right? So it's better to rely on your memory. So they'll give you a typical question which has a problem area which may sometimes involve two constitution benches fused together. So you have to kind of, if you've read the main judgment, you will easily make out these facts are from that judgment. So an answer from an examiner's point of view, it would be this introduction saying that facts of the case, what was held in that case. And the last part is, what is your personal take on this matter? That is, the latest update on that case. So, if you have Puttaswamy, say about 3-4 years back, where Puttaswamy, I had the great fortune of briefing Shamdivan, senior advocate, was amazing genius. So, there is where this blend of technology and legal acumen came together. Because you had a lot of data protection acts that we had to study, and the IT part of the whole thing, that Aadhaar kicks in, your identification, biometrics. So this is something which is now really expanding. You have an entire different fields of law like space law, air law and all. So this question has to be very relevant. Your answer has to be relevant. You write better, you get better marks. If everybody is writing the same thing, you know how it is. You're taking your exams in here. Then practice and procedure is something which is specific to Supreme Court rules. So there's a book called Supreme Court Rules 1963, now it's amended. So you'll have this, if a writ petition Article 32, it's read with which order or something of the Supreme Court rules. This they test to just know your legal acumen in those areas. Then you'll have professional ethics. The whole judgment series is available. What is a misconduct? What are the Bar Council rules? Advocates Act. So there are only 3-4 acts involved here, but there's a body of work which you have to study, broadly speaking. And ethics, they all go together. Drafting is one paper where you actually have to draft. Now the problem is, after 5 years of practice, people stop writing. You would already stop writing in college itself, right? It's all iPads and laptops. So this is an unlearning process, which is the most difficult, because it's a written exam. The Supreme Court had tried to get this laptop for the last year. There was a major glitch and they had to repeat. So I think they're going to stay only with written exam. Like they still don't use the EVMs in US, it is still the ballots. But we are far ahead with EVMs. So they will be only having a written exam. So you have to practice your writing skills. Never leave that, according to me. Because you can keep on doing it. You type it, because it will be a challenge to write after 5 years when you are totally on laptops. People forget that handwriting changes because you only sign. So this is something you can just develop it. Don't lose out on the writing speed. And typically what we say is you study, we keep studying, we have students throughout life. But for this exam, at least a focused 40 days is required according to me. 40 days, minimum. People say you should read throughout. People start, say, 1 year before and they keep reading every day something small so that it doesn't come on your head at the end. So keep reading, it will just value add. You read for 60 constitution benches over a period of 7 months, it will increase your database, which will be useful for drafting arguments. Right? So it's a very, so people who don't clear keep repeating, because it's just for the sake of enriching your knowledge. It's a great process. And that's broadly what I think that covers it about. You can ask me anything related to this, which or even otherwise.
I think we'll save the questions for the ending, because there are some topics on which some questions that I got from the students with both of us can answer.
Yeah.
About legal practice. That's the later half of the topic, career options. The first three questions that a senior advocate, what qualities to look for in a senior, the practical reality of a gestation period in litigation, how long does it take? So you want to know how to start, where to start, and how long it will take. Am I right? Specific steps, as how essential is it to work under a senior, the practical reality of a gestation period. You have already got a clue. 4 years plus 1 year as a Supreme Court law. Now, the first thing you should do if you want to graduate and start is to improve yourself in every way possible. Improve your reading, improve your writing, improve your speaking. Knowledge, writing, speaking. These are the three core qualities of a good lawyer. The ability to express yourself clearly. The ability to know what to say and what not to say. And your knowledge, that is your foundation in law. In the first 3 years of your law college, make the most of the time. Get involved in mooting. Get involved in debating. Get involved in court observation. This is also linked to how to approach law firms. That is one other question. So improve yourself, improve your CV. We all know that the law firms are recruiting only from the top law firms. Tier 2, Tier 3 are suffering. So how do you attract their attention? You attract their attention with a good, impressive CV. We are seeing people from other law, not the top 2 or 3. I was interacting with a young man in Amarchand Mangal the day before yesterday, and he told me what he did. For the first 3 years, he kept on improving his CV. Everything that he did, he put it on his CV. I went to, this is the trial I assisted, this is the Moot I assisted, this is the debates I won. These are the papers I presented. And he did continuous internships. He was rejected by half a dozen, but he kept on applying. Till one decided to give him a chance. Today is, say, improve your CV, improve yourself, improve your speaking, and improve your writing. How well you speak in a court is very, very critical. Because as time flies, judges are becoming less and less attentive, time for arguments are becoming less. So how quickly you will be able to express yourself is matters. And he just talked to you about the great casino called the Supreme Court, where everything happens in a fraction of an instant. The first 2-3 words that you utter should catch the judge's attention. Yesterday both of us were in 2 cases. One case we thought was an ironclad case. We were going to get a good order because it is backed by law and facts and a little bit of human empathy. It was over in 30 seconds. Other case which we felt was hopeless, bad on fact, bad on law. An arbitration award that was passed 20 years ago when we were trying to do something challenging. That was excellent. So in the great casino or in any other high court, how quickly you speak, how well you speak makes a difference. The first step you should take, or the first thing you should do, improve your speaking skills, improve your writing. Even for the AOR exam, pleading with a paper. If you want to assist a senior and to grab his attention, your research skills, your writing skills should be better. Now, as far as a senior is concerned, I would say a senior is absolutely essential. And how do you find a good senior? There is a little bit of luck involved, nobody can deny that. But you should ask around. And ask and find a senior who will give you work. A senior who will entrust a file to you and tell, young man, young lady, go to court and do this. It may be a very small matter. Find a senior who is liberal with giving work, not merely money. Because your experience as a lawyer starts with these little matters. That's how you gain your confidence. Find a senior who is good. You should make inquiries. All of us have gone. Most of us have gone through. Find a senior who will give you work, enable you to stand and express yourself in a court of law. Actual. I am a district court lawyer. Ravi is a district court lawyer. He is from the Supreme Court. For us, my first choice would still be 3 to 4 years in a district court or a trial court. Interestingly, Mr. Nair's son is just passed out. He is going to a trial court. My son is here. Saket was here for 3 years. We are all examples. Trial court work is absolutely essential. Please join a trial court lawyer if you can. I'll come to the aspects of finances. Some of you have these issues of loans and immediate income. But good trial court advocacy is going to stand you in good state for the rest of your life. Find a good senior who will give you work, allow you to work in a trial court, 3 to 4 years. Then like for example, you look at Saket, 3 years in Vizag, now is moved to Andhra. My son is planning to do something similar. Because all of us are the old school. His son has just joined a trial court lawyer, original side lawyer in Delhi. The trial court teaches you a lot of things. All the basic acts that you take away the taxation law, you take away the administrative law. Where are all these other judgments, specifically transfer of property, contract, where are they coming from? They are originating in some district. Some little court somewhere in some corner of the country pleading that sets the case in motion. That goes all the way to Supreme Court and becomes the law. As we all know, no pleading, no evidence. Unless you raise an issue, it won't be decided. Some little lawyer somewhere in some corner of the country has raised this issue, which has now become the law of the land. So don't undermine their importance. They are also very important in the scheme of things. Even if you want to go to the Supreme Court, you want to go to the High Court, get this experience. Tomorrow, or you want to become a corporate counsel. Let us say you become an in-house lawyer. You are based in Bombay, you need to file something in Salem, Tamil Nadu. How do you will engage a local lawyer, he will send you a written application. How do you know it is a good application or not? Unless you know the law, unless you know the proceeding, how do you know as an in-house counsel or as an associate in a corporate firm that this draft is good, this has touched all the relevant aspects, so this is missing, we have to add this. 3 to 4 years in a trial court with a good senior, I would say, is something you should all plan. How many of you can actually do? Some may have difficulty because of financial or other reason, but if for others, please look at this. As far as gestation period is concerned, my father told me, even though we are from a family of lawyers, if you are prepared to sit for 8 to 10 years, join the profession. A young doctor, let us say in Pendurthi Junction, sets of practice. You have a little ache, you go, he gives you a tablet, you get that relief comes in half a day, 1 day, 2 days, you will go say there's a good doctor in the other. But the average life of a case is 4 to 6 years. Even if I give a case to the young National Law School graduate from DSNLU, by the time he gets me a result, it will be 5 years. It is only at the end of 5 years I will be ready to say, this boy is good. That's the average lifespan of a case. Therefore, the gestation will be long. Be prepared. In a way, this session is to open your eyes. Don't be rosy-eyed about the profession. It is extremely rewarding after some time. But for the first 5 to 10 to 12 years, it is going to be a struggle. Somebody like Mr. Chagla said, the starvation stood me in good state. What are we? And this is an Oxford graduate. That is the reality of all our lives. My life, his life, his life. So just you're saying different things. Even if the stupidest question comes, they say, we bow down to my Lord. They know in their heart of hearts, where am I, what am I doing here? They study in the National Law School and come here for this. But then, that's the system. They may be right, they may be wrong, you have to be careful. And to cultivate this court habits, you need to watch. Mr. Nariman calls it a reverse osmosis in his book. You will have to learn, sit, watch. Keep your eyes, ear and mind open. And every day, like Mr. Vipin just said, we are all students forever. Every day is a learning point. What do you do as good lawyers? You camouflage the bad point. highlight your good point. For that, you need court craft. And that court craft is learned in a court. It can't be taught in a classroom. Just now Professor Ranveer Singh was telling about more clinical courses because we academicians don't have practical knowledge. There is a distinguished academician like Professor Ranveer Singh himself said, on your feet, in the court, with a good senior, the first few years of your life, be extremely frugal with your money. You will not be getting much. Whatever little you get, learn to save. Most of you will not be married.
Please rephrase it.
The first few years, the income will be fine. If you are moving to new cities, the cost of living will be very high. Don't splurge. You found newfound freedom in a city like Bombay, Delhi, don't. Parties, there is a time for that. Invest in a good laptop. Maybe one good software like Manupatra or SCC. All the bare acts. At the bare minimum. Don't splurge. Sometimes people tell you very fancy, good looking office is good. That is good for certain people, not for all. The average lawyer doesn't need all that. Have a good search system, good search engine, good bare acts, good research tools, and a good laptop. You're good. The gestation period, as I said, is long. Therefore, being frugal, being careful, being economical is important. Once you get married, other obligations come. Bigger house, more responsibility. So what you save here is what is going to help you. Okay? And then, yeah.
You want to, I'll just develop this what you're saying. I'll give you the Delhi perspective. What I've been interacting with a lot of lawyers looking for work. See, there is a catch-22 here. I'll tell you in my words. If the lawyer is very busy and therefore very good, he necessarily doesn't have time for you. Right? It operates in a very... The busier you get, the less time you get for mentoring. So where will you get this good lawyer? Actually, good senior is one concept. You should get a good mentor. Dewash the fact that he's not a very senior lawyer, and he's not a rookie, you know. The question is, that person should mentor you. You have to, even if I'm telling you, even if that senior is 15 years into the profession. But if he's a good communicator, you have a better chance of learning with that kind of a senior rather than that you go to the A-grade seniors. They won't even meet you for weeks in their office. Now, how does one get into their office? That is something which plagues the mind of all, especially this phase. Firms are recruiting less this current year. This cycle we have got to know because as a matter of fact, my niece had come to me for some IPR. She wanted an IPR. She was IPR dominated concentric CV she had from Noval's coaching. There is a problem in the market at the moment. They are not hiring much this particular session. Things are going to improve definitely. Now see, it's a very practical side. Offices, as Somayajulu said, in cities are overheads. Fortunately, everything is digitized. It's on the process of digitization. So when digitization happens, see, generally people tend to shed off the books. When the books go away from the offices, space is created. Space is created, people can come in. Follow? So there's something very positive going on in that side. Traditional offices are not there. Just you'll have a wall for lawyers or books, but otherwise everything is available online, right? So that's a positive sign which is coming in because of the AI and because of the computerization. So I'm very hopeful that more options will open up on that front. But basic point I take from where Somi's left. Where do you, Somi's really on that hard headmaster line 10, 12 years. If you work hard, your success can come early. Even now, we don't know where our next client is coming from while talking to you. Okay? So your clients may come early. But when he comes to you, you should have that skill set to deal with him. Because that may be your last client then for some months. If you don't treat him well, because these guys will go and talk Our profession is meant and propagates only by word of mouth, believe me. And you can't advertise, right? It's not allowed. So how do people know that you are a lawyer and ready to work? So the initial period of grinding is very, very important. So you learn, you don't earn. So it's just a take. It will be fine after some. You get that critical mass. Then you are in a position when somebody walks to you and says, "Give me a 138 notice." You should know what it is. So 2-3 quick pointers I can give. Start building your database of legal notices, of writ petitions. You will get everything online. And make a database right now, so that you are mentally ready. If somebody comes, even if you are just a first year lawyer, you will know exactly how to draft a Article 32 in Supreme Court. Because database is available. We never had that luxury in our time. We had only books. We had only physical copies, right? Today you can do anything, cut and paste, take it, edit, everything is possible. So tools are there to be worked. Use it for your advantage, right? So what I say is that there is one book which I'll recommend to all of you. That is Ramnath Iyer's Legal Dictionary. You should have this book with you. Ramnath Iyer, it's available online, I think 600 rupees. It's a phenomenal thesaurus and legal dictionary which will give you the meaning of the word, also the judgment related to it of Supreme Court, in very simple words. So this, sir, you should have it in your libraries also. Yes, it's a classic. You might be having also. Yes. But not many people know about it. They'll only look at Black's Law or something. You have an Indian author who's amazing. Ramnath Iyer on legal dictionary. So, just, I don't know whether it's available, there's a soft version or something. You have that with you. And one more thing, buy a small little book of ledger book, that is, which has this ABCD. You've seen those kind of books?
Yes.
Which I tell all my interns who come, just buy that alphabetic book and start writing your judgments, 3 lines. If it's arbitration, A, arbitration, latest law, and keep some space which you keep updating if you see live law and all that. And please subscribe to these. These are all free legal sites. Both live law and bar and bench, they are free legal sites. You'll get to know what's happening in the country. So you just keep updating that case law. So arbitration, some section 34, 37. So a judgment comes in, leave some gap because it's going to be very dynamic field. You know, every 4 months you'll get some judgment. So keep updating. So by the end of say 1 year, 2 years, you'll suddenly feel you have so many judgments which are very useful. Of course, search engine will give you, but these are to be specifically. Like we have an example, we keep sharing that like documents obtained by stealth, rather stolen documents, can it be used as evidence? Supreme Court says yes, you can use it. But when you look at that statement, it looks very incongruous. But there are 3 Supreme Court decisions which say that stolen documents can be used as evidence. Now if you write that in your book, stolen documents, AIR, and you memorize it, and suppose you're going somewhere, you're talking to lawyers or senior lawyers, and suddenly the topic comes, you can say, yeah, Supreme Court has said it's stolen documents. So what happens is you immediately get the respect of that crowd, and then they know this guy, next time they talk to you, they'll take you seriously, because you've done your hard work on that. And second is all these words and phrases, this last part of the book, of that book I told you, write all these words and phrases, separately. For example, if you get a High Court judgment and the High Court judgment is unreasonable, so you go to the thesaurus, unreasonable, arbitrary, capricious, untenable, you write these words. Then what happens is immediately it will come to you while drafting. But you don't always have to go there. Once you read that, make that, keep on increasing those words in that column. That column keeps moving. So it's, as I said, keep on learning all the time. It's a very, very, it's a fantastic career, let me assure you. Fantastic career. And all it needs is a lot of planning. You should know exactly what you're going to end up in 5 years. I'll tell you why. Suppose you're looking at Supreme Court, even High Court practice. In 5 years, you have to make your roadmap in your mind. Because why? When you go to High Court, you will be getting the referral work from the district courts. So district court, you start spreading your roots. Don't stick around there for too much. Go to the next level. That will help you with the referrals. That's how happens to Supreme Court, because Supreme Court referrals are from the various high courts. So make friends. And you are a mini India here. So you keep developing friends in different parts of the country. They will help you when you are on your own. Everything runs by associations and friendship. Because they know this boy studied with me, he's in Delhi, isko bhejo. You follow. Therefore, improve your peer. It is very important. Social skills is a very important tool. It was not there maybe at that time. But, and one more thing I just, before I end, Somayajulu said about Justice Charla's experience and all. You see, now we have a full explosion of laws, legal acts. There are 58 tribunals in Delhi. 58. Right? So if lawyers are in great number, so are the tribunals. There is enough work. It's not like this 25 years back, there were not many courts. So there is enough work to be done. But you should have that skill set. Okay, so it's a brilliant future ahead. Work hard, and these are the 2 years which are going to be crucial for you. And do a lot of planning, strategic planning. Which office to take, you should know 5 years I'll be in Hyderabad, I'll be in Delhi. Plan like that, right?
Thank you. And also, be active in your alumni association. Alumni are spreading all over the country. Alumni should know that is you have settled down in Visakhapatnam, you have settled down here, you have settled. Word of referral, like he said, is a very, very critical thing in our legal practice. I was not trying to scare you, I am just trying to prepare you that it is going to be a long and arduous road ahead, but at the end of the day, the rewards are going to be phenomenal, no doubt about it. Like he said, all that if you put into practice. I have 4 diaries, 3 which I finished till High Court, Supreme Court I have got. Those diaries, and it is scientifically proven that what you write you tend to remember better than what you just read and forget. So the point that he has made is a very, very critical and important. Your own database of the law. Now one other question has come to us which is related to what Vipin has also said. Client acquisition, retention for first generation lawyers, professional networking within the community. Part of it has already been touched upon by client acquisition, retention for a first generation lawyer, professional network within a community. Like Vipin said, it is your performance that attracts it. One other thing I will tell you, a client who comes to a lawyer when you are dealing with clients is a person who is in trouble. If he loses 1 crore, he will come to you. If he wins 1 crore, he is not going to come to you. If he is getting married, he is not going to come to you. If his wife is leaving him, he is going to come to you. So give them first and foremost a patient hearing. You argue a case well in court, there are others who are watching. Not merely clients, there will be some people who are just sitting there, there may be other lawyers who may have a similar defense, who are unhappy with the lawyer they are engaging, and they may find you are doing a better job. You research a case well, you argue a case well, you present a case well, you behave better in court. All of these will fetch you people. This is how you retain. The first client who comes, you will do your best, I am sure to serve. The first client should go back as a satisfied client. And they are only people in trouble who come to you. Give them a patient hearing, do the best you can with it. And 2 other things that most people forget are the court staff and court clerks, and the advocates, clerks and advocates. Court staff sit in the court. A lot of people who can't afford big rich lawyers come and ask, who are the good lawyers here? Be kind to them, be nice to them. Advocate clerks, another great source of referral. They will say, we know that young boy, he does well. These are all ordinary small people. Be kind to them. It's not going to hurt you. And believe me, they are sometimes more knowledgeable than some of the best lawyers. You can learn a lot from these people also. If there is an objection taken by the court, they will tell you how to comply with the objection. These are all the people who are going to be your advertisement boards. They are the people who are going to refer you to others. So if you attract a client who comes to the office, you can retain him by all these methods. Good performance, of course, is the bottom line. Good preparation, good presentation, good work is the bottom line. But ancillary to this are all these little things that you can do which are not very difficult. And like he said, referrals are very, very important. You go to the High Court, you need a good court that feeds you. You go to the Supreme Court, you need a good High Court that stands for you. These are things that are very, very important. Don't overlook these pleader clerks. Don't overlook it. Be nice to your colleagues also. You also talked about professional network. We often have cases, all of us. We find this is a critical criminal case. We can immediately call him, who's a good criminal lawyer to handle it? He's this guy is doing well. In this area, he's a specialist. Your client, you join, both of you file the wakalat, both of you can argue the case. You learn a new branch of law. At the same time, you are working with a person who's experienced. If you're courteous to colleagues, this is what happens. Be nice to the people around you, the court clerks, the staff, everybody, including your professional colleagues. And if you can, slowly build up an area of expertise. One court, one area. Like today we have the commercial court. Some of these youngsters were sitting regularly in commercial court. I had noticed that there was a little network going on among them. My son calling up Saket and saying, Sak, I'm not coming to court, are you there? Right there. He used to represent the case. Tomorrow this will lead a step further. We know that this young man is sitting there, has gained experience in this branch of law. Therefore, let us refer a case to him. This is how it happens. One area of expertise, concentrate, be there in one time. Be active in legal seminars. Be active in legal, wherever these sort of things happen. Debates. People do notice you. They notice the way you talk. Contribute articles. Publish papers. Maybe it's a small publication. It will look good on your CV. Somebody will notice that yes, this young man from this college, a third year student of DSNLU is writing this good article. But avoid the social media. This is something that is becoming very serious. Youngsters are advertising on the social media of the cases they have done. The higher authorities are taking a very serious view. Don't project yourself on the social media. That is going to have very dangerous repercussions in the future. If you get an invite, if you get a chance, speak. Any topic relating to law, get up, stand up and speak. If you get the slightest chance, make the most of it. People are listening, people are watching. Like you could go, let us say you're invited by a local club to speak. You can speak on a general topic. Somebody there is sitting and listening. He has a problem 1 year down the line, something similar. Your face should immediately come to his mind. So increase your footfall in court. Be present in one or two courts. Slowly gain experience in one law. Be nice to your colleagues. Be nice to the staff. Be nice to the pleader clerks. This is how your goodwill builds up. This is how people will start thinking, there is this young man, there is this young lady, they are good, despite their young age. Be known as a knowledgeable person. Two more little things, I hope. People ask me about law firm and practice after leaving a law firm. Joining a law firm is an area of choice. As far as I am concerned, I would never say that. I just remember Justice T.S. Thakur, Chief Justice of India, in this very same campus saying, you are producing glorified law clerks, sir. For me, a lawyer is always somebody who is active on his feet in a firm. But that's a personal choice. I am not for a moment saying that. Improving your CV will improve your marketability with these firms. And your CV will only improve when you are taking part in various myriad activities, not just one or two. Debating, writing, moots, mock trials, articles, social camps, NGO activities. Your CV should be in it. And if you get to want to join a firm, try to join litigation. Ask for, if you get a placement, ask for a litigation. Gain experience in litigation. If you want to step out, after a few years, the burnout is quite high in these top firms, which all of us know. But they will find it difficult to adjust because they are already used to a nice healthy salary coming. The first of the month, you know something is being credited, you won't get it in regular practice. First sometime. If you want to do that, that's a personal decision. The restarting will be tough. But if you do litigation, or you care, if you go to one niche area, a specialist, let us say in telecom, electricity, If you do something like that, stepping out will be easier. Lastly, there was one question about work-life balance, which I believe is a topic troubling you already. You should be worried about it at our age. Why are you worried? This is the time to have fun. Do a good case, enjoy the benefits of a good case. Work-life balance is very important for the moment. Mr. Bakru's speech is something that is true. There is only life, there is no balance. But, like I said earlier, be friends with your colleagues. 2/3 of your life you will be spending with your colleagues, the other 1/3 with your family. Mr. Ravi is a good example. Every morning he has a gang of at least 100 people who sit next to him to talk with him. Not only does he talk to him well, every morning he shares the latest case law with all of them. A unique service that he is rendering in his own little way. As a result of which, if he goes to court, there are 100 people greeting him with a broad smile, which is very rare in a competitive field that employs. Your work-life balance will depend upon the quality of your life with your colleagues in court. Be friendly. It is a competitive profession. Be very competitive, no doubt about it. But you cultivate your own group of 8 or 10 or 15 friends. Like I am surviving in Delhi because of him and his partner. I don't know anybody else as an associate. Because we met 30 years ago in an arbitration, we have remained friends. It was a major career shift for me. Because of 2 good friends who were there, I have survived. And all of you are from the next generation, so you know how doing things differently, taking vacations, learning a hobby, etc. Work-life balance is absolutely essential. A good home life is necessary for a good career in life. It's something you can cultivate. It comes out of your own personal habit. If you go home drunk every night, you're not going to have a good. It's in your hands, and it is essential because a good home life will ensure that you are in a good mood in the morning. Rest we both want questions from you.
You've answered a fair bit of it.
Yeah.
Yes, lunchtime, but then you can feel it.
No more questions.
Huh?
You can always questionnaires you can send.
Yeah.
Emails.
Yeah, that's also an open up. In case,
Any email.
I'm requesting you always, learn to stand up and speak. Don't be hesitant because your processors are here. If anybody has any doubt and wants to ask it, please ask.
Sir, given that you've served on both sides of the court, in the bar as well as on the bench, and now you've shifted courts as well, I have 2 particular questions. First being that, if you remember your first case, even though both of you come from an established background, how did you deal with your first case? How was that nervousness and how did you overcome that, and what were your learnings from your first case? And secondly, that how can you understand, and as you said that the Supreme Court is a casino of sorts wherein the first words matter, and given that you've served on both sides, what were your expectations when you were a judge? And given that now you're practicing the Supreme Court as well, how do you know which words are righted for which case and at which time? And the second one is that should one develop a niche understanding of a law or a general understanding of a law to step into the profession? And should it be limited to a particular geographical area, or can he just move around courts as well?
That's the entire subject we're talking about.
Yes. See, actually, I'll take the last part first, where the first 2 questions are actually in a way answered. Specialization at this stage depends wholly on your capacities. For example, if you want to take IPR specialization, then you necessarily may have to go for an LLM. So you have to ask yourself what you want. Now this is a very important thing. Some people come, when interns and all come, I ask them, do you want to be a civil lawyer or you want to be a criminal lawyer? That will break the hell for them. It's a very, very difficult question. Because you don't know what the field is like. Now a lot of lady interns I'm finding, sir, criminal law. I said, okay. So we give them the name. So I find, this is my perception, they are very keen. Criminal law is now slowly getting back the attention it deserves. They're very interested, very keen in forensics. Maybe because of that social major murder cases coming up and then people get in. So this is something which I found lately, that criminal law is attracting. IPR specialization, your answer? I personally take it as a very kind of a slightly risky field, specialization at this stage, unless you're very sure what you want to do. If you take a normal litigation background, like Somayajulu is also indicating, do litigation first, and suppose you want to do corporate law later, it's permitted, you can always go. Right. So, specialization, if you are really very sure about it, then go ahead and do it.
What about your first case?
First case, see, very honestly, even now we get nervous in court. Even the best of seniors, we've asked personally. Even now the butterflies are there. So there's nothing that they're very confident, and they're of course that skill set of them. You should know the level of voice that you have to pitch. You should not be too loud, you should not be too low. That comes only by experience, and you can practice it at home. Like you should know what's the pitch of your voice, where it goes. So sometimes, people, this happened a lot in the VCs, are like, why are you shouting, counsel? Judges will say. He said, this is my voice. No, internally you will be thinking. But you should know your level of your pitch. So voice also is important. You can do your voice training. Because that is the first thing that the judge hears. He sees you, and when he hears you, that is where the impact is made. So improve on your voice quality, if you can. There are a lot of YouTube is full of it. You can develop that alliteration, you can develop that way you talk. Not the accents, but the English words, the proper English words. That's where I say those words will help you. That book which we are all suggesting. The more words you throw up at the receiver, the more respect you get. You can't always keep saying this judgment is bad in law, this judgment is bad in law, bad in law. It doesn't work. They won't take you, they won't treat you. Suppose you use the word capricious. 8 seconds, he'll think, what is this word? But it means that this judgment is liable to be interfered with. It's wrong. So you do that impact analysis, So you have to impress that receiver, the person who listens, and in this case, it's the judge itself. So you have to impress without showing off. It's a very fine line. You have to balance it. It comes with practice. You're all. So these moot courts and all will help. In our time, there were no moot courts actually. 93, 95. It was just starting. Now, so you have developed it to some field. So I think
First case,
horrible experience. Correct. Your first.
very horrible experience. Even now I have butterflies on the stomach. That is nothing to be afraid. That's your body telling you that you are getting ready, fight or flight response. Right? Don't be worried about it. Everybody has. My first case, I'll tell you. I was arguing. It took me 18 months to get a first chance to argue. The office was huge, number of juniors ahead of me. You've done your CPC, right? There is a section 80 notice. This is a mandatory notice to be issued before filing a suit. Similarly, I am doing a case for the port trust where there is a mandatory notice to be issued. Without the notice, you can't file a suit, suit can be dismissed. So what I did, I mucked up the whole argument, practiced it 4 to 5 times, without hardly looking at the judge. I vomited the whole thing out. I forgot the statutory notice business. One Mr. L. Venkateswara, a senior lawyer who was sitting behind me, just watching me, our colleagues. Telugu said, "Hey, 120 MPT Chapara Malli." He said, "Repeat." I didn't know what 120 MPT was, still struggling. And then he case kar chalu, Malli Chappu. He said, "Repeat it, that is enough for your case." Common mistake. These are all mistakes made by us in our first years. But because of that experience, next time I did a case for port trust, MPT would never, 120 MPT would never go out of my mind. Hard knocks on the head, as Mr. Nariman said. You will learn, that is the way you learn. And how do you say the first word, the best word to impress the judge? Like Vipin said, if you know let us say the judgment is per incurium. Instead of saying that, my lord, in this matter, there are 4 other judgments of the Supreme Court which the judge has failed to look into. As I am talking of 1964, I am talking of 1958. Well, then you lost his attention. My lord, this is a per incurium judgment and the reason is this. Learning what he said, either from Ramnath Iyer or from personal example, will make it very clear that you got his attention. It is a trial and an error method. Honest trial, Honest errors will lead to good course correction. Anything else?
So my question is about, so basically, so before coming for like constitutional or criminal law, my second master's a niche area, but I want to explore sports law, so I was considering for
Sports.
Yeah, that's a development. See, you should direct this question to the gentleman in the second row, Saket, because he is an alumni of yours and then he did his LLM from Leiden University in arbitration. So he's one person who was focused on what he wants. Now that is helping him in his matters, must be, because his father's, like the referral routes are very clear on arbitration. So he's kind of taken that call, but not to say that he's not adept in other fields of law. Because there, see, on LLMs, I think Chief Justice has already spoken his mind in a NLU conference. So he says that financial aspect you should take care on your families, which is absolutely true. Because there is an aspect, so if it is possible, so otherwise that pressure builds down. So it's the Chief's view. If you're really keen on it, there's no harm. But then taking some experience, work experience, and then going abroad is also, abroad or wherever, it's also a good idea. LLM with experience, that is. Then you know exactly how it pans out. So there's no end or starting point. You can do it whenever you feel like it.
And sir, I have one more question with regard to the court. So generally, when we do internships or when we are in our starting days of a litigation career, we have, court is not always that one courtroom where we have a judge. We have to go to different offices like superintendent's office or the CA application office and everything. So when I was doing my internship, I had an experience where I had to go to a copy application office to get a judgment copy, which was a country trying changing that system.
You become the Chief Justice of the country and or the law minister and pass new laws.
No, there are a lot of high courts which have brought in this e-concept. Now online filings and web copies coming, bottom-up impute judgments are coming. Things are improving, but at the local level, I guess there are a lot of challenges, infra challenges.
But for young lawyers, I would advise you to go and get acquainted with that area.
Go through that drill.
Very, very good. Don't overlook that area.
We did it actually.
We did it. We wrote summons with our hand, collected copies because we know when you're manning an office or running an office, if there is a loophole to be plugged, a delay to be avoided, you know where. Because clerks are very, very smart. Wherever there is a breed throughout country, pan-India, you will know. If you are aware of it, your court clerks and your juniors will be more alert. They know, senior knows what is a copy application, how to get a copy, how to get a deposition, how to apply. We all did it. At those times we wrote it with our hands. Learn that branch of law, but there will be delay, you can't help it. And there will be corruption you will be encountering also. I know you didn't say it, but yeah.
It helps you set up your own practice.
Yeah. Will teach you the other side tricks of the trade. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
So I have a question here. Like I am interested into joining into litigation and working under a senior. But I have a question, and I am from Nagpur. So in our hometown, we have High Court, the District Court, as well as other tribunals as well. But as sir rightly said, that Delhi is blessed with so much courts. So my question is like from which place to start with if I have to start litigation. So one is my hometown and one is like Delhi, which is.
No, hometown is an exception. See, Nagpur is a hotbed of litigation. It has already given you 2 chief justices, Justice Bhogde and even D.V.S.S has Maharashtra. So Nagpur is a very good option to start.
Yes, sir.
You should know that Somayajulu was saying that initial district thing, because of that familiarity, you can be comfortable in your hometown to start.
Yes, sir.
Later on, you see how it takes.
See, if you have tribunal, a district court and a high court, that's a blessing. You can attend to all 3. Find out, explore and know where your footing lies. And then when you move to the Supreme Court,
They all come there. No?
you have a set of lawyers who will say, yes, this young man from our town is there. Start at Nagpur.
Sir, so is it ideal to firstly start from the hometown and then build upon it like the reference?
You are blessed from Nagpur.
Yes.
Not necessary. Whichever good court they find they are comfortable in that area, they can. It can't be
It's
hard.
actually a matter of destiny. Suppose Delhi, I'm just telling you, it's case by case. Suppose you have your uncle is in Delhi. Delhi, because of the metro overheads, that's what Somi had indicated. So these are the overheads because the starting point may not be that lucrative to start with. So how do you match it? Then that stress comes in. So it may be possible that you have friends, you can explore all that, which is best for you.
Yes. Thank you so much. That answers.
I heard some bell going somewhere.
Thank you. This is the sort of interactive session that we are looking forward to. This is the sort of interactive question and answers that have to be practical. Please ask. The whole idea is that you should develop and you should be the flag bearers of the future. Okay? Please be honest. Just because you ask a number of questions, you will not be said to be a questionable character. Don't worry. We will be happy if you can. The idea is this. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Okay, get a chance to speak.
First, thank you, sir, both of you. I think all the students here appreciate how honest you were with us about how rough our life is going to be when we graduate, the grind we are going to face, and
But there is a rainbow at the end.
yes, sir. Yes, but thanks for reassuring us that it's going to be rewarding at the end of the day. I think we are going to walk out of here with a lot more insight and a little of fear as well. But yes, I think we are all grateful for how honest the whole session was. Thank you.